We bring in Mark Leibovich. His latest piece asks this question: where is Barack Obama? And in it, Mark, you write, in part, quote, "No matter how brazen Trump becomes, the most effective communicator in the Democratic Party continues to opt for minimal communication. His audacity of hope presidency has given way to the fierce lethargy of semi-retirement. Obama's conspicuous scarcity while Trump inflicts such damage isn't just a bad look. It's a dereliction of the message that he built his career on. When Obama first ran for president in 2008, his former life as a community organizer was central to his message. His campaign was not merely for him, but for civic action itself, the idea of Americans being invested in their own change. After he left office in 2017, Obama said that he would work to inspire and develop the next cohort of leaders, which is essentially the mission of his foundation. It would seem a contradiction for him to say that he's devoting much of his post-presidency to promoting civic engagement when he himself seems so disengaged." And Mark, strong piece, and I think it's one that has really touched a nerve here among many Democrats. We've been used to former President Obama the last couple of campaigns. He sort of fancies himself the closer, right? He comes, he gives a big convention speech, and then we see him on the road just at the very end, sort of September, October. He did a little more last time around for President Biden, but there's been Democrats for a while now saying we need more of him. And especially now that Trump's in office, his absence, as you write, is really noticeable.
Yeah, I was really struck by the response to this piece, frankly. I mean, I was a little nervous just because, going after Barack Obama and challenging him on things is really going after a Democratic sacred cow. You often hear some real pushback pretty quickly. This one, very muted response as far as defense of him, and very, very animated response in terms of, where has he been? And I do think that his inaction and his disengagement here has been really conspicuous. One, because there is actual demand for him. I mean, it's not like, George W. Bush is, there's a great clamor, certainly in the Republican Party, for him. But Democrats face such a leadership vacuum right now. Barack Obama is actually a very gifted communicator still. He's not too old. He could be much more active. But he seems like he's really kind of done with this whole thing. I mean, that seems to be his posture. And I do think that this is even more conspicuous now, given what Donald Trump is doing and given the lack of pushback across the board, certainly from his own administration, certainly from his own party. But also, since there is such a real weakness of Democratic voices right now, I think a lot of people would love for him to step in and say something much bolder than he's had now, which has been quite silent.
If there is anything that sums up the Democratic Party's problems, it is scenes like this. Riots over the last 6 days in Los Angeles, now spreading across the country. They combine the Democrats' three major problems: immigration, lawlessness, and progressive policies. Democrats are sinking in political quicksand. As you heard, the approval rating of the party is at 19%. But some think Governor Gavin Newsom's efforts to stand up to Trump over calling in the National Guard are a step in the right direction for the party's future. The one voice of reason Democrats could always count on in times like this is notably nowhere to be found. The most recent sighting of former President Obama were him whining and dining with the King of Norway. Evidently, the salmon season there produces some particularly fresh fish. He also spent some time celebrating his daughter's birthday. Even The Atlantic's taking note. Where is Barack Obama? The audacity of hope presidency has given way to the fierce lethargy of semi-retirement. The idea of Barack Obama, though, is important because we're going to keep the pictures of Los Angeles up so you can see what's going on. This was Barack Obama as president in 2014. Take a listen.
Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous.
Dean, where is that voice in the Democratic Party?
Leland, I'm asking that same question every day. Your question was, where is he, and where are our leaders? Where have they gone? I would love to see former President Obama.
Where is Barack Obama?